Not every repair is what it seems. A vibration at highway speeds might have you thinking, probably just the tires wearing out. And honestly, with a couple seasons on them, that's not a bad guess. But what if that tire wear isn't just from age? What if it's the symptom of something deeper? Something hiding further down the suspension line? That's the thing about working on cars. The real fix isn't always the obvious one. You've got to be part mechanic and part detective. Welcome back to the Mechanic Gone Rogue. Today, I'm going to be talking about a sneaky problem on my 2016 Volkswagen Golf. It started with uneven tire wear on the rear tires, and it ended with me cutting out bolts and replacing half of the rear suspension. Let's dig into it. Here's what caught my attention. The inside edge of this tire is completely bald, while the rest of it looks like it could get at least another season. That's not normal wear. That's alignment wear. If you're not familiar, wheel alignment refers to how your wheels are angled relative to the car and the road. The three key measurements are camber, toe, and caster. When these angles are off, the tires get dragged rather than rolling cleanly. That creates friction and uneven wear, just like this. In some cases, you'll feel it in the steering wheel. Maybe it'll be pulling a little bit to the left or to the right, or sometimes the wheel will sit just a little bit off center. But I didn't have any of that. All I had was this tire wear, and so I knew I had to look deeper. Living in Canada, our roads take a beating in the winter. Potholes, frost heaves, salt, it all adds up. It's not uncommon for alignment to get knocked out of spec after a few hard seasons. I checked the suspension first. No obvious damage, no loose components. So I figured it just needed to be realigned. These are eccentric bolts. They adjust the position of the rear control arms, which in turn adjust the camber and toe. That's how you dial everything back into spec. Problem is, mine were completely seized. I tried hammering, soaking in penetrant, nothing. The only option left was removal by force, and that's where things got messy. This Golf has an upper and lower control arm on each side of the rear suspension, so 4 eccentric bolts in total. I started with the lower control arm. I used a jack to support the spring while I unbolted everything. Once the spring was out, it was time to cut. I didn't have an acetylene torch, but I do have a reciprocating saw. I cut through the bushing sleeve and bolt on both sides of the arm to free it. I ordered all new control arms and bolts ahead of time, just in case, and I'm glad I did. The upper arm was even tighter. I ended up removing the rear knuckle to get enough access. Another hour of cutting later, another bolt destroyed, and another control arm out. That's one upper and one lower arm out, but demoed in the process. Reassembly was way easier. Everything went back together smoothly with new hardware and arms, as well as a coating of anti-seize to help prevent this from happening again. I even took a minute to clean up and service the brakes while I had the space. Then it was time to do the exact same thing on the other side. Hold, please.
After what seemed like an eternity, I was finally finished. It may have been a big job, but the results sure looked good.
Once both sides were rebuilt, I took it for a professional alignment. Here's the before. Camber and toe both out of spec on the rear. Camber is the tilt of the wheel vertically. Too much negative camber means your tires lean in. Toe is how much they point in or out. Both were off, and both were chewing up my tires. Here's the after. Everything dialed in, tires are sitting flat, and I'm finally confident I won't be destroying another set of rubber anytime soon. This was one of those jobs that seemed to start out simple, just a little bit of tire wear, but turned into something much bigger with a full-on suspension rebuild. But that's real-world mechanics for you. You can't just fix what's broken, you gotta fix why it broke in the first place. If this video helped you understand suspensions a little bit more, or if you've run into a similar problem, drop a comment below. I'd love to hear how you handled this. If you're into hands-on fixes and like the occasional rogue job like this, don't forget to like and subscribe because I got more on the way. That's all I got for today. Thank you for watching. I'll see you in the next one. MGR signing out.